Welcome, everyone, to the Puff Drink Talk podcast, where today we are smoking on an interesting pack. Not just one, but 5 different cigars from the Venture 1492 pack that you can pick up at your local cigar shop. Or not, because they're selling out quickly.
It's a small batch, too.
It's a small batch. Yeah. This was a generous gift from our co-host, George. It is his turn to bring the cigars this week, and we are smoking a variety pack. What's interesting about these is the binder is a Dominican, the filler is Dominican Nicaraguan, but the wrapper is all different. So everyone gets a little bit of a different flavor. So, as an example, I'm smoking the San Andreas wrapper cigar. Hilton?
Yeah, I am smoking the Corojo.
And in my case is the Habano Gran Corona.
And then, Jonathan, I believe you are smoking on the Connecticut
Yes.
Grand Corona.
Just to say also the size for Gran Corona, because sometimes like we get confused with so many different names and sizes.
Yeah.
So I took a picture before we start just to see the size. Also, it's kind of interesting to see it.
Okay.
How long it takes, how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Right.
I will have to say with I'll start first with my cigar. It is a very smooth cigar. I typically enjoy San Andreas tobacco from northern Mexico. Anyways, it's a little bit of a lighter blend, very similar to a Connecticut, but it has a little bit of a punch to it. So that's where my flavor profile is. So when we were dividing up the cigars, I gravitated to the San Andreas. But the draw is good. The quality of this cigar is really is great. It's burning evenly. The flavor profile, like if you're a beginner, you can easily pick this up and just puff on it. No bitterness. It has a kind of a nutty leather flavor is what I'm picking up on mine. Let me give one puff really quick. It's cashew. I'm getting a cashew and macadamia nut kind of combination for the nut flavor. So yeah, really enjoying this cigar so far. Hilton.
I get a lot of salty leather on the retrohale. On the puff, I'm not sure yet. I'm getting a little bit of a nutty flavor. I concur with that. But I get a little bit of an earthy tone to it as well. Yeah, there is a little earth, a lot of nut flavor, and the retrohale is like a salty leather. And it is smooth. You can retrohale it. It's fine. I think it's gonna get a little warmer on the retrohale towards the end, because it's not as creamy as some cigars, right? So it's a little less creamy on this one.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to Ian Harvey from Smokers Abbey, who always offers the best small batches in the state. I truly appreciate what he offers. Right. So this one is available there. He has always mentioned this package. I really want to try it. The experience. So I tried it, all of the 5, and it's interesting to see the impact that it have. This one here is the typical Habano, right? Earthy. It's woody. It's nutty. All this. I can't tell exactly where it is, but you can tell it's earthy, right? As you mentioned, like, super well built. The draw, I think the cut is the right cut, so it really works for me. It is on the light side of cigars. I think it's a great gift. I think for some, like if someone wants to try it, it's the perfect gift. This one here, because it's not expensive.
Yeah.
And you go you see the Sumatra that I smoked at yesterday. It was excellent. And again, it's not like you don't see the sharp taste that you had it with other cigars. But I like that. It's light. It's easy to smoke. It goes really well with the coffee. I don't know. It's just smooth. I like the experience.
Jonathan, do you want to talk about your cigar?
Yeah, actually.
Or it tastes like cigar.
Yeah, no. Honestly, first off, the one and only other time I've had cigar, I was extremely drunk. This time I'm only a little bit. No, just kidding. It surprisingly, like, I don't have any kind of to Conrad's point, right? I don't have any like bad aftertaste. I don't have any bitterness at all. It's easy for me to smoke. I've never even been a cigarette smoker. Or smoked any kind of anything really, other than brisket. So you know,
So you have.
so yeah, no, it's smooth. It doesn't have a bunch of crazy flavor profile. I'm obviously not going to be as good at as y'all are, like pulling out all that stuff, right? Fucking Conrad's over here calling out cashews, and so I can't say that. Yeah, but I can't say that, right? But I can say that it definitely it goes great with coffee.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Yes,
and so no, it's easy for a guy that doesn't smoke. Like I easily could smoke one of those, every Friday after work or something like that. Like it's a good clean cigar.
No, I'm sorry, but it's so funny you say that, Jonathan. As far as like. Pairs really well with the coffee. I just took a puff of my cigar and then had a sip, and it almost amplified the coffee flavor. But it changed the coffee flavor. It was kind of more of like a hot chocolate kind of thing. So it's really interesting how the flavors interact and change.
I wanted to see if I could get a chocolate.
If you put some of this butter shots in there, man, I'm telling you, that with that coffee and the cigar,
you don't know what you're missing.
Oh man, I'm telling y'all are y'all are amateurs over here. So
we can add these also.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's one of the things. That's one of the things, right? That you dip your cigar in the bourbon before you. Yeah. See, I know a little bit about smoking. Doing something I don't do.
Yeah.
So I am trying to determine, though, maybe y'all can tell me, right? Like how much of the ash I should leave. Like, do I just let it go?
You can shake it all. This is the smoker's preference.
Okay.
There is no right or wrong.
Okay.
So George usually smokes it all the way down until he has about this much of a.
And then
he plays a game of like how long he can leave the ash. I don't like that feeling that the ash is gonna break and then I'm gonna get all messy.
There's a tradition, or like you see that all these smokers in Cuba, all their shoulders always full of ashes. They don't even care, like the whole body. They know that thing is going straight. He's gonna wash it straight away. So yeah, I enjoy it.
I like shaking my ash all the way there, so that doesn't fall on me. But that's me. So it's anybody's preference.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned, everyone, for part 2 of the cigar review, where we give our final thoughts and scores to the Venture 1492 Pack cigar. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the Puff Drink Talk podcast, where we are smoking on the Venture 1492 Fresh Pack, 5 different cigars. Again, I am smoking on the San Andreas wrapper. I'm just going to get into the flavor profile. Nothing's really changed. I will say it has gotten stronger. The tobacco is really hitting. I'm taking this a little bit lighter. My biggest complaint about this cigar is that I've had to relight it about 4 or 5 times. And I don't know if that is because it is a little too humid. It's been in the humidor a little too long. It's just a wet cigar. But this thing does not like to stay lit. So I am relighting it more and more often than I would like to on a cigar. But again, the flavor profile, what's nice about it is, the construction of the cigar is still really nice. The flavor hasn't changed much at all. It has gotten stronger at the end of the second half and into the final third of the cigar. So for a beginner smoker, when you get to this point, you're going to be kind of feeling it and going, all right, I've had my fill of a cigar right now. The one downside, like I'm saying, is that I've had to relight it quite often. That's my biggest gripe and annoyance of the cigar so far.
I want to say that it did get earthier now. For example, I don't get the nutty flavor anymore. is pure earth. And retrohale, I even had to have like my napkin in here. I got my nose running a little bit because it's a little warmer on the retrohale, and I can still do it. But there is only a little bit of leather left. It's really strong, and it's earth. I mean, everything now it just turns into earth. Which is not bad. I like earthy, cigars. It is a Corojo on my wrapper, so it packs even bigger of a punch than a San Andreas. But it's enjoyable. I had to relight it once, but because I've been puffing on this thing, I mean I'm down to the final a part of the final third. But yeah.
Now the Habano Gran Corona, right? So I think it's a kind of bold, modern Habano. We smoke a lot of them here, with the way bolder than this one is. I liked it. It's easy to smoke, right? It's easy to smoke. In the second part, in the second third here, I even wrote it here. It was a little bit creamier, and I start feeling the sweetness on that. It's kind of a spicy, but sweet. I don't know if it's cinnamon, like when you have this spiciness with maybe cardamom. I don't know. It's just I feel that's in the second and third, third, right? I felt that. Regarding the, like relighting, I agree with you. I relighted once mine, but it doesn't affect when I relight. Many cigars, when you relight, it's not the same. This one I did 2-3 times and it worked.
Yeah.
So I will say that. Yeah, I'll give it that.
Right.
You're right.
It does discount from from the score, but not as much as some other cigars that like once you relight it, it's gonna be too spicy. I don't enjoy that. You see, I am in the last third, and it's still pretty good smoke. So this is worth what you invest. That's how I feel it. You're talking about math, right? So I would say that if a cigar, it's still enjoyable in the last third, it's good for the buck.
Right.
Mostly, So yeah, I enjoyed that. The cedar, all the things, woody, earthy, cedar, all this kind of things that is atypical for Habano. It's in here, but it's not as complex as other cigars we smoke.
Jonathan, do you want to add?
So I would definitely agree that it's become more earthy. And from a guy that doesn't smoke, right? It's like I lost any of that those different flavors. Now it just to me tastes like a tree. And so and it's interesting that I kind of get like a cedar to it for sure, a little bit more than anything else. The tartness actually has gone away. That I think was with those flavors in the beginning, but in the beginning there was also a little bit more of a fruitiness. There's no sweetness to it that's left for sure. The relighting it is probably a little bit of me not me talking too much, and combined with the cigar itself. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's still easy to smoke, but it definitely also has gotten stronger.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So I do have a question for y'all because you guys know cigars pretty well, and I think for anybody that would be watching this, right, that's maybe interested but doesn't know much about them, where do the nutty flavors, the leather, the cinnamon, like how does that come from leaves that are just in here? Like, are those leaves come from those kind of plants, and that's what gives it the flavor?
Well, the thing is, on a tobacco plant, when they pick up a blend to put in, or either it could be a puro, like everything coming from the same region, things like that. So the soil influences the flavor of the leaves, of course, right? And also where the leaves are located in the plant, like the top ones get more sun exposure, and also it gets a stronger tobacco or nicotine levels. So, and all of that put together, it creates the perception of what the taste is. It's just like as you're smoking it, you feel that taste. Nothing is infused
Right.
unless it is an infused, flavored cigar. But like these ones, normally the ones that we like to smoke, every now and again we do get ones that like being infused, like with coffee or bourbon or something like that. And then you have that, but then it that's why I don't like the flavored cigars sometimes, just because it's like it becomes too complicated to try to understand what it is.
Chemicals.
Because it's been something added to it, and it also depends on how long it matures, because they can have like a maturation going with the leaves before they roll. Some are more fresher, so it all adds the level of sugars, the natural sugars of the leaves, also on the maturation process, which is just like temperature and humidity.
You'll also notice a lot when you see the descriptions for Connecticut specifically. You'll a lot of times, depending on the tobacco or the cigar that you're smoking, you'll always typically see for Connecticut shade grown tobacco leaves. So that's why it's
there'll be
lighter.
a little less nicotine.
Yeah. It's not as harsh. It doesn't have as much of a a punch to it as maybe like a darker cigar, like what George and Hilton are smoking. Our cigars are typically on the lighter side, and that's because Connecticut's are a lighter, again, shade grown, or under a tree specifically, or
They're not as
however.
baked.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then you end up on those, you end up getting more wood flavors because it's being protected. So it's more like, how can I say it? More like truthful to what a plant is than something else. So when you have like all the sugars build up and then it becomes a little bit more complex, our brain picks up something that we like to. It doesn't mean that it has that taste, but that's how we recognize the taste.
Makes sense.
Look, I just pull it here. A lot of things they already said, but the first one is the soil. They call it terroir. The same thing for wine. They just mentioned here in Nicaragua Nicaraguan soil is more volcanic, so it influences this. It's more spicy. Then they mentioned the Habano. It's Quevedo region of Ecuador, which has more alkaloids, and that influences that fermentation, which is how it's done, how you let the leaves dry, the whole fermentation.
Sure.
Then they mentioned a few things. The ligero leaf. So each leaf has a different characteristic. He mentions 2 here. And the retrohaling, the aroma connections. It seems 80% of the taste is actually smell. Much of that Tabasco sensation, like we feel it sometimes, comes from retrohaling, pushing a small amount, blah, blah. Right? So what they smoke reminds you is also uninfluenced. So they might just mention, like 3 or 4 elements here to explain that.
Interesting.
Our scores,
86 for me.
89.
89 for me. It was 90, but because of the relighting, I denote 1 point, so
Yeah.
89.
Is this out of 100?
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever you want to give it.
75.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Perception, yeah.
From a guy that doesn't smoke. That's
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like it.
exactly.
I didn't go below 50.
We normally say that, anything 75, to 100, it's a good cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would smoke it again, feel comfortable smoking it again with people that smoke cigars so that I didn't feel like an outcast.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.